I hope you had a amazing Christmas. I and my husband and I gifted our children with hot water this year for Christmas. Our hot water heater broke, and $2,000 later, that was Christmas for everybody. So they have some amazing children, and they had no problem with that or anything like that. They were just awesome. So, and again, first world problems. Well, we are blessed with hot water and all the needs of the world. Some people just do not have just a simple thing like clean water.
I have to tell you though, it's like, you've done, well, I don't know if we did. You've been
By the
lucky
hmm
when you tell your kids, well, we're not gonna be able to do anything for Christmas. See, you can see I'm tearing up already. And they're all, it's okay, Dad, it's all right. I'm
They don't
like,
care.
that's when you know you've done good.
Yeah. So by the grace of God, I
Yeah,
think, right?
it was
So
great Christmas.
it was. We are very blessed, and so okay. I wanted to come here today, and I want this to be set up as something of a resource. The resource I wish I'd had when I first started reading the Bible. Okay, when I first started reading the Bible, I had to wade through a lot of garbage before I could really find what made my Bible study productive, where I could understand. One of the biggest problems with biblical studies is that we don't know what we don't know. Yeah. We don't, sometimes you don't even know what questions you should be asking in order to get to the truth. And there's a lot of scare tactics that people use to keep you from looking into the information, to question the leaders of the church. There's a lot of dogma that people tell you, oh, we've all agreed on this. Well, the church has agreed on it. But you know what? I am the church. You're the church. And I haven't done the study, I haven't done the reading, so I don't agree with anything until I feel comfortable that, yeah, this is the message that God has for us in the Bible. Okay? The message of the Bible is for everybody. And for each of us, God has a particular message. But the only way that you're going to be in it and know it for sure is if you do the work, if you do the reading, okay? Being a full disciple of Jesus Christ is not for lazy people, okay? So, if you're curious about the Bible, if you want to, you've gotten to a point where you're rereading the same passages, let me put it this way. The very first reading through, I was like, okay, kind of confused. I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't understand certain things. So I had read it again, and I'm like, okay, some things are becoming clearer. I'm understanding more. Then I read it again and again and again. Okay, but then and I listened to a lot of sermons, and I listened to a lot of lectures, and I read a lot of books and all this stuff. But then you get to a point you're like, that joy of finding the connections left and right is like the joy of the word is there, but there's this opening of your eyes that continues to happen. And sometimes it slows down, and then you need to find another avenue to connect even further with scripture. It doesn't mean that God can't communicate his wishes. It just means that the the Bible is a deep, deep pool, and you can just wet your toes in it if you want, or the best thing to do for me and for you, I think, and I believe, is to dive nose in and just see if you can reach the bottom of the pool, which I don't believe we ever will as a nation, as a species. But while we're here, let's try to do the best we can to figure it out. Okay, we live in a amazing time in history where you have free resources of everything that you could ever want to read about, and historical context of the Bible and all that. So, but now I'm going to say this because um, I've had people tell me, you don't have a PhD, and therefore, what do you know? Now, I don't have a PhD. I don't have a master's degree on anything. Okay, I have a mind and a desire to learn and
Resources.
resources left and right. Okay, having said that, okay, you do have people out there that have PhDs, masters, they're very gifted at teaching, professors, they have had a different approach to scripture. They have discovered things that it you wouldn't know to know. You don't know that you need to know in order to have some clarity in scripture. There's a lot of passages in the Bible that are very they sound very mysterious, they sound very confusing until you understand the meaning behind it, the background behind it, and you go like, "Oh, that was so clear. It was clear all along." And the beauty of it all is that you'll pull that thread, and a bunch of other stuff will become clear for you. So this is the tool, the resource that I want to share with you. Is I'm gonna go through every scholar I know. I'm gonna share their channels, the little bit I know about their personal life or whatever, and their books and things that they've written that I've read, that I have listened to for hours and hours. I YouTube, Spotify does this thing called the Spotify Wrap, and I don't remember how many hours of podcast I listened this last year, but it was a little crazy. And then YouTube uh, did something similar, and this year I listened to 90 hours of one particular content creator. Now what I do is I put my headphones on and I go about my business of the day of cleaning and doing laundry, and sometimes I have some work tasks that are really just things that I have to type, but it doesn't require my full mental engagement, so I put something on and go on about it. Okay, the first one that I am going to share with you was is near and dear to my heart for a couple reasons. When I was looking for, if you have studied the Bible, like I said, and or done any research on it, you'll figure out that a whole lot of theologians out there are only male. There's only male theologians, a ton of them. Okay, and so I was trying to find. I'm like, is it possible that it's all either you have a bunch of women that are, some of the women that write devotionals and things like that. I mean, if that's what you like, that's fine, but that's not what I was looking for. I'm looking to connect with God directly, and I'm like, but there has to be female voices out there. And so one of the first things I found was this channel, and I am going to share my screen. We're just going to share the screen, and then I'll pause it if I feel like I need to, but I am going to share this. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so the first channel that I want to share with you is called DiscipleDojo. Okay, I will tell you one thing for sure. I on all of them. I don't agree 100% with any of their theories, their ideas, or anything like that. All right, but you're not supposed to. Your upbringing, your cultural background, your everything will make a difference in how you view the Bible. But there's some basic things that you should know. And what I find that some of the basic tenets of scripture, if you read about them, you study, you'll come up with the same as some other people. Okay, it's just careful study. So what he does is a couple things. He does reviews of Bibles, books. He does teachings of, of all kinds of things. He did a teaching on Is it a sin to masturbate? And it was not salacious. It was nothing like that. It was just what the scriptures say, and it was just good with scripture references and everything like that, because we have a big problem in the evangelical world about uh, purity culture. And obviously, if you're a Catholic, there's other purity culture there, and if you're and all of that. So there's a lot of information there that makes you wonder and think about sexuality and things like that. And it was so good, okay? And so, but he has interview after interview and after interview. And uh he's he I heard one of the scholars I follow said he could be a scholar himself, but he does this instead. He puts his resources out there for everybody to access them for free. And it's just an amazing channel. Like I said, with everything else, I don't agree with everything else, but he does. But I still have great respect for this particular channel, and I just love it, and I keep checking in on it all the time. Books that he recommends for everything that you could ever want to know about the Bible. And so I was watching this channel when I found I was myself wondering where are the females of the female theologians. This is where I met Carmen joined Imes. Now she is an associate professor at, I think, Biola University. She has a PhD on Old Testament, all that. You can Google these people and find out all their bona fides, so to speak. Okay. Now she has her own channel. Okay. She's written 3 books. Uh, let me look. Yeah, I'm gonna share with you. Yeah. All 3 books. She's written more than 3 books, but the 3 books that I have read are "Bearing God's Name," "Being God's Image," and "Becoming God's Family" is her latest book. It's sort of a trilogy, but you can read any of them in any order you want to, and you will learn so much. Now, the problem with a lot of scholars out there is that they write for other scholars. And so they use these really fancy words that have to look them up. And so you kind of give up on any of those books. And not so with her. She writes in a very, uh, I want to say colloquial, but that's not really the word I'm looking for. She writes in a way that is understandable to you and I, to everybody that uh, you have a high school level education. She writes it so that her heart is that you get closer to God. Okay, so her books are written in an understandable language, but they're not by any means uh, shallow. Okay, so these are her books. I hope you saw that. Let me make sure. Wait. Okay, and then she has a channel, and uh she does right now. She's on hiatus, I think. She's obviously everybody needs a holiday. This is the best resource. She does they're like the less than 10 minutes, her videos, and she does this thing called Torah Tuesday. And I binge listened to her videos. She did a bunch of on Genesis, and right now she's almost done writing a commentary on the book of Exodus. And this is something I just think tells the heart of every scholar. She's discovering all these amazing things as she goes through the book of Exodus, and she shares it with us for free. You don't have to pay for this. Okay? This is a seminary level, uh college level, a professor of a university that just wants to share the things that she finds out in the Bible as she's studying. And so she's going through all of that. And the latest thing that she did, which was played hell, sorry for the word, but with my budget, she did a whole series on books, what to read, what book to read, and starting, I think you can see it right here, right? Uh, she did a book. So the way that she broke down it was you have reading the narrative, poetry, Bible backgrounds. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. If you watch nothing else from her, okay, if you decide, okay, she's not for me or whatever, or which I cannot imagine that you would watch on one of her videos and go like, well, I'm not interested. But if you watch nothing else, watch the ones where she did that's all the book recommendations. They're amazing. Okay, and she does this broke it, she broke all her videos down into uh beginner level, intermediate level, and PhD level. And so if you're anywhere you're in your journey of studying the Bible and reading the Bible, she will give you resources. And a lot of the books that she recommends, I either own, have read, or have read part of. And so, yeah, absolutely solid, solid stuff. And what I tell you what, I've had a few interaction with her on X and on Facebook and all that, and she's just so classy, which is something that always seems to be lacking with people on the internet. By all means, she's one of my favorite scholars out there. Now, the next person I'm going to talk to you about is the Bible Project. Now, it's not a person; it's a it's a YouTube channel. Okay, they do little videos about 10 minutes long, no longer than that, about every single book of the Bible. Everything, themes, everything you ever wanted to know about the Bible. They do little videos, they're animated, which are easier for some people to digest and things like that. They have that. Okay, so it's right here. Now, this is really good. Okay, the videos are amazing. But if you're up there a little further along on your journey and you watch these videos and yeah, I already knew that, or yeah, I got it, or this is not your cup of tea, the beauty of that is they also have a podcast. And you can get it on Spotify. Oh, hang on. Okay. This is where the sausage is made. It's Tim Mackey, and he sits with another gentleman. I always blank out on his name. And they said, and this is their conversations that they have before they put the videos together. Working through things, him, one of them asking questions, the other one answering, the other one pushing back. And it's the beauty of how a conversation about the Bible should be. Talking, uh, pushing back, enjoying, learning from each other, that sort of thing. Okay, this is I probably listen to every single, no, not every single one of their podcasts, but a good portion of them. And you know, some of them I've got to go back and listen to a couple times. Now the Bible Project has a website. Okay, and so they also have here even more research. So all the videos are here. You have some guides, podcasts, all the things. And I always lose a way to find it. But hang on, let me try, see if I can get through it from here. Uh, I'll find it. If I find the link, I'll find it for you and I'll put it in the show notes. But there's also a way to access their book recommendations here. Okay. So if you go to through this the through it, it'll tell you here's the library, and it's broken down through uh, books of the Bible, themes in the Bible, that sort of thing. So don't just watch the video. I definitely spend some time in the podcasts, and also there is this one podcast in Spotify from Tim Mackey called "Exploring My Weird Bible." I'll put a link to. And what that does, it's all sermons of Tim Mackey, and they're just you learn a lot. Okay, you learn a lot, and it's worth all your time. Just if you're going about your business, doing laundry, your mama's, I get it. You're busy. Put on your headphones and just listen. Okay. One of the things I enjoy about the both of this, they're not really pushing you towards any particular theology bent. Okay, they just presenting the information, telling you how they arrived to it, letting you have the space to then arrive to your own conclusions. Okay, now that's that's one of my favorite ones, and another one that I just this is the one that I spent 90 episodes listening to this year. The podcast is called Theology on the Raw, and the person that does the interviews is Preston Sprinkle. Now, he also has a lot of interviews with people, right? It's a lot of that in his videos. And so this is how you find the people that you want to read about, the people that you want to listen to what they have to say about the Bible, to their books and all of that. We just had a big hullabaloo on the Twitter sphere on our side of the little side of the theological Twitter kind of thing about penal substitutionary atonement. He had an interview, probably with, I think that's the only long form interview I've seen, uh, with the author of the book, and it was great. You learn a lot. He pushes back gently, in a way that like, well, okay, and he asks always seems to ask the questions that I am curious about. He has some people there. I mean, recently he had an interview with N.T. Wright. I just I'm not in agreement with N.T. Wright in just about a whole lot of the things that he says, but I watched it to make sure that I am having my own pre pre preconceived ideas of what I already believe pushed on a little bit. So I recommend you listen. And the best way you're gonna learn and grow as a Christian is if you listen to things that challenge what you already believe. Okay. Okay. And then the other one that I want to share with you is the biblical mind. Now, Uh, he's adding, it's by Drew Johnson. He also wrote a book that is on my to be read list. I read the beginning on it, and I was I I've heard him talk in a couple of interviews here and there, but I found his podcast, and it's called "These Are Your Roots," and I'm gonna link that one below, and it's just as good as the the Bible Project podcast. He is speaking to this young lady, and they're going through, and they're giving you the tools to do your own thinking. It's like, that saying, give a man to fish, a fish, and they eat for a day, but teach him how to fish, and he will eat for a lifetime. That's what the people that I'm trying to recommend to you, that's what they do. They're trying to teach you how to fish, okay? So that you can then feed yourself the rest of your life, so that you can then just open the Bible and go, oh yeah, make connections, understandings, things like that, okay? So this is really good. Okay. And he has the online is called the Biblical Mind. He also has uh, a website called the Center for Hebraic Thought. Now, this might be revolutionary for some of you, but just remember the fact that Jesus was a Jew, and so in order for us to make the Bible is an ancient book that was not created in a void, but in a cultural river. And so you have to understand the cultural river before you can really fully understand what Jesus was trying to tell us. So what they this particular they want to teach you to want to teach you the Hebrew background of Jesus and how they would have seen what he did and all that. So, anyways, the podcast is listed here, and they have some book recommendations. But again, like the other channel, they tell you how the sausage is made, which is amazing to me. That's I tell me how it's done. Okay, if I this is where I stop, you'd be good. You're set. You can spend the entire year studying listening to what they teach, studying what they teach, and then you will be able to apply it to your own Bible study. And you'll have all the books and the resources that they want you to have so that you could. Now, I mean, almost every single one of these guys have been a professor in a university somewhere or currently are. So they have the heart for teaching. Now I'm going to give you some so this is the teaching part, but then I'm going to give you some controversial things. And you can choose to watch them, you can choose to ignore them, or you can choose to challenge yourself and try to get out of the dogmatic world that you're in. Now watch. I'm going to tell you something. Uh if your pastors, preachers and teachers tell you that it is dangerous for you to read anything other than what they present to you, they don't have your best interest in mind. All they want to do is keep you sitting as a sheep, doing what they want, saying what they want, and bringing your tithes. Now, that has been my impression, because if the truth is different from what they teach you, wouldn't they want them? Wouldn't they want you to know the truth no matter what? That has been my leading thought in this, and so I'm going to give you some things. They're going to challenge you. Like I said, you can skip it or not, but I'd say don't, because you won't grow as a Christian unless you're challenged. Okay, the first one that I'm going to tell you about is called let me find it. It's right here. True 360. It's there's a book about it, and they have lectures and all of that. But if you don't already know, I'm more of a egalitarian than a complementarian. And this particular YouTube channel is dedicated to help you understand where the misinformation has gone regarding the roles of men and women in the world. A lot of people will tell you that the Bible says that a woman is to be in the house all the time, that she is well, we're equal in the eyes of God. We have read different roles, and women sit down, be quiet, and go make sandwiches. And what they're here to tell you, that's really not the plan of God. I'll summarize it real quick. We're both to work together towards evangelizing the whole world, making disciples of the whole world, and so uh, listen to some of their podcasts, listen to some of the information that they provide, and see. uh, the idea is that a lot of the people think that because someone doesn't agree 100% with you, that they probably haven't done the reading or the studying, and nothing could be further from the truth. Every single person I'm recommending you would probably rattle your cage a little bit, and I promise you that uh they have done as much or more reading that you could ever have possibly done, understood a lot more. Okay. Now, it's the Eden podcast. By all means, check it out. It's great. Uh, you know, rattle your own cage. Okay, here's the other one. This channel is called Transfigured. This particular gentleman uh, has been kicked out of his church, and is he's because of what he's doing. Okay, now this will rattle your Trinitarian cage. This next commentaries, okay? Now, what he studies and challenges is the idea of a of the Trinity, the God and the God that the concept that Jesus is God. Every other scholar I have mentioned to you, 100%, as far as I can tell, believe that Jesus is Yahweh. Okay? That Jesus is God, and they are firmly entrenched in what they believe about the Trinity. I don't. And one of the things that I've done here is I've read this, watched a lot of his videos, a lot of the interviews he's had, and I don't believe in the Trinity necessarily, not in the way that you probably believe in the Trinity, and I don't think Jesus is God right now. Okay, we're growing as Christians. We continue to grow and learn, and if I see something that I think, oh wow, that makes me disagree 100% with these people, then I'll tell you about it. But in the meantime, this is where I am, and this will challenge everything you believe about the Trinity, about God, Jesus being God. And let me tell you something, if you're honest with yourself in any way, shape, or form, you know that when Jesus goes through the entire New Testament going about saying, I'm the Son of God, I'm the Messiah, I'm this, I'm that, and never once he says, I am Yahweh. And nobody calls him that. Okay? You know there's something wrong. And if you honest with yourself, every time someone explains to you the Trinity, you'll go, oh yeah, that makes sense. And when then you go about your day and meditate on that, you go like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so let's be honest with ourselves. And okay, so that's one transfigure. I will link it. Okay, and then through this channel, I found this other channel. It's called the Biblical Unitarian. And it's the same thing as talking about why Jesus is not God, what it thought about and he goes into more detail about the ancient context of it, verse by verse, that sort of thing. I'm currently in the middle of reading his systematic theology, and it's just an eye opener. Okay, so it's called Biblical Unitarian Podcast. It's on on YouTube, but I'm sure there's you can find it in other places. Okay, so this tool will absolutely completely challenge everything you believe about uh, the Trinity and the divinity of Jesus. And if you're scared to even listen to something like that, if it's not true, it won't matter, right? You'll hear it and you go like, oh, that's it's not true. But I think a lot of people are just afraid that what they'll find is that they'll have to then reckon with all the questions that they have had. Okay. we got two more that I want to share with you, and this next one is Sheila Ray Gregory. Her channel is called the Bear Marriage Podcast or the Bear Marriage, and the evangelical world has been plagued by. I'm not telling you something you don't already know. Um, the there has been sexual immorality scandal after sexual immorality scandal going on about in every side of the evangelical world. And one of the ways you can get past that is understanding that there's a lot of false teaching regarding the role of women, the role of men, the purity culture, and all of that. I will tell you one particular thing personal is that I came here from Mexico when I was 17 years old. And in my mind, there was nothing I couldn't accomplish. I had no barriers. Okay. I just needed to get the education, the work hard, do all the things, do what I needed to do. Okay. Never did I think in my mind, I'm a woman, that means I'm less than, or I'm supposed to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm not allowed to do this. No, get an education, work hard, do the things. Okay. And along the line, if you're lucky, you marry someone and all of that. Never, I married my husband, my now husband, and he never made me feel in any way, shape, or form like I was less than an integral part to our relationship. Okay. It was not until went to to the churches that I realized that they thought I was somehow less than my husband. Okay. It was
Western world.
Yeah, I mean, that was baffling to me. I was just speaking out my mind and saying the things that I wanted. I was told to be quiet at one church. Oh no, excuse me. My husband was told to keep his wife quiet
Yeah, that was
at a
funny.
church. Okay, and I thought they were joking. I thought it was a funny. No, it's not. They meant it. But like I said, so this is why I recommend this channel to you. Okay, she's a less. I she reads some of the books that might have influenced your own evangelical upbringing, tells you where they are wrong, how they're not reflecting Jesus and what they're teaching. And it's amazing. Okay. She's so knowledgeable of the Bible and what it says. Her daughter is just so funny and cute and also knowledgeable. And listen, challenge yourself. I promise you, you won't regret it. Here's another one that I bench listen and watch for days on end, so I can learn about all the other things that I didn't know existed in the evangelical world because I did not grow up in it. And so she speaks of women that are virgins that get married, and because there's all this mental baggage behind it, have a lot of pain and discomfort during intercourse, and what's causing the mental barriers and all of that. And she's just honestly looking at the sexuality of men and women in a marriage context. Anyways, and her husband shows up every once in a while and he gives the male perspective on all that. It's just really good. She's got a Facebook page, and I think she's no longer on X because people are hateful. And so I don't blame her, for her own sanity. So spend some time watching her videos, click on something that just will make you be if you click on nothing else, where did she go? Oh my goodness. I passed her. She interviews this lady. Uh, what does the Bible say about divorce? And there was the one, I'll link it below when I'm done, where she talks to a Bible scholar about what does the Bible really say about here. What does Ephesians 5:32 really tell women? So spend some time with her. She's amazing. Uh You don't have to agree with everything she says, just like everybody else. You don't have to agree with everything else, but challenge your own views of what you got, what you see. Okay? Okay. The last, oh, wait, here. I have to just show you this real quick. Tom Wadsworth. I don't really watch a lot of his videos, but I did watch his series on worship and that does really mean in the Bible. Okay, because there is this very distinctive idea that we are probably doing church all wrong. So check it out. Watch it. Just he has a presentation about it, and so just check it out. See how you like it, what you think. Challenge your own ideas. Okay, and the last one. This is just fun. This is fun, just fun, fun. It's my guilty pleasure. My husband doesn't understand why I like it.
Like what?
And he just every I'm like, okay, everybody be quiet. I'm watching this, and this is the channel Shauna the mom.
Oh, yeah. I don't get it.
Oh, he doesn't get it, and that's
I
okay. Okay, let me just go ahead and post her here. Let me share this with you, and
doesn't
that's
mean
okay. That's
anything.
it does, I love it. I just love it. It's drama at the best. Okay, this one lady, Shauna, she plays every single character in this crazy family that she made up. And one of the most horrible characters there is the mother-in-law. Oh, she's terrible. Shauna is a good mom. You see character growth, and there for a while you forget that this is one single woman playing every single character. Okay, she's so talented, and I mean, those of us that are fans of her channel, all she has to do is put a video out and we drop everything because we're caught up on the soap opera of this. This is fantastic. Anyways, why do I watch it? Why do I recommend it if on a Christian channel? Okay. What she does is presents in a way for you to be able to challenge your own views of what you've been told about motherhood. Okay, where you can maybe look into that and see, am I that? Am I the one? Am I the mother-in-law that's not listening and is only in her own feelings? Or am I the sister-in-law that is completely into her own self and doesn't pay attention to other people's feelings? Am I growing as a human being? Because one of the beauties of growing as a human being is being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes and see things from their own perspective. It's kind of like the remember the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. The Is it the empathy gun? I don't remember. Put it in the comments below if you remember, where you could shoot somebody and then they can see uh the world through your own feelings, through your own experience. And the guy picks up the gun and shoots the girl. No, yes, and shoots the girl, and nothing is happening. And she's like, because we're women, we already feel everything everybody else feels. Well, it's not really true. We can be a little blinded and all of that, but I love this channel. It's fun, it's entertaining, but there's a message behind it, and there's a a show of growth. As a human being, you're supposed to grow. You're supposed to move on and leave some of the things that you do behind that are not serving you as a human, getting rid of toxic relationships in a very hard way. I mean, one of the characters, two of the characters have simply gone no contact with the mom because the mom is so toxic, and it's painful both for the children and for the mom. But the mom doesn't, can't see. can't see the world for through her own selfish motives and all that. Anyways, watch it. It's fun. It's you'll get invested. She has a couple of videos where the entire lore is there from beginning to end, so you don't have to watch every single short. But this is fun too. Anyways, this is what I got for you. But uh, what I can tell you is about all the channels that I recommended, all the podcasts that I recommended, all the people that I've recommended just now. I have spent hours and hours and hours and hours listening to their content, reading their books, uh, watching interviews that they have done, listening to pushback from other ends of the biblical world. I watch a lot of the stuff, and amongst all of that, I read my Bible all the time. Okay, and this is the very essence of everything. The one thing that you must do is to read your Bible. And I am not talking a six a Bible in a year program. You need to give yourself into it. Okay? I promise you, it will change you in ways that you have no idea. But little dribbles of it won't do it. Okay? Just take big old gulps and just get in it. Okay? Just dive right in. Set yourself a timer, 30 to 90 days through the Bible. You can do it. How many hours have you spent binge watching X, Y, and Z? Okay? So, make God and Jesus your priority in 2026. Make it your priority in 2026 that you will grow up and move on and grow up and move on, okay, as a Christian. That you will expand your mind. I promise you, at no point does Jesus is the more you know, the bigger Jesus becomes. In no way is he diminished by your knowledge. On the contrary, you'll get to know him better, you get to know God better, and you will get to know yourself better. Okay? God bless. Enjoy your life. I hope you have an amazing 2026. And you know what? If any of this helps you throughout the year, just come back and let me know. I'd love to hear about it. All right? God bless.